Berdasarkan data-data yang dibentangkan kepada saya oleh Kementerian Kesihatan, saya dapati bahawa usaha-usaha untuk membendung wabak COVID-19 masih perlu diteruskan. Walaupun angka-angka menunjukkan perkembangan yang positif, langkah-langkah yang kita ambil hendaklah diteruskan sampai ke satu masa di mana kita yakin wabak COVID-19 dapat dibendung sepenuhnya. Sehubungan itu, saya ingin mengumumkan bahawa Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan PKP yang dijangka berakhir pada 28 April 2020 akan dilanjutkan untuk tempoh 2 minggu lagi, iaitu sehingga 12 Mei 2020.
Hi guys, so today is day 37 of the MCO. Yesterday I was unable to post any videos up because well, I was busy with other distractions and also work. Okay, so yeah, got some prepped some articles and content to be put up on our magazines, so do check them out. Okay, evoltn.com, idmalaysia.com, corruptmalaysia.com and estatemalaysia.com. Okay, so just now we heard, okay, a message from the Prime Minister that there will be a further 2 weeks extension of the movement control order. So we will all be staying at home that little bit longer, all the way to 12th of May, and maybe even beyond that. But I mean, gotta say, looking at the numbers over the past 1 week, I have to say that the movement control order is working and we are bringing the figures under control. So let's just hope that this phase 4 of the MCO will really help to bring really help us to bring our COVID-19 numbers down even further. More people recover and less infections, less new infections, less deaths. Okay, so let's get on with our Q&A. So Kai Heng Chan commented on my video, my day 9 video of the Wajah. Car looks very new after all, well maintained. Yeah, but honestly, the paintwork is something that I'm not satisfied with, so that's something that I will need. I think this car definitely needs a respray plus a few minor repairs. Okay, after the MCO is over. Lawrence Lau commenting on my review of the Mazda 3 High Plus. If the interior is red colored, then it will be very nice. Yes, this one I agree with you, because last year when before the Mazda 3 was launched, I went to Japan for an exclusive preview of the car, and I saw actual examples that were finished with a red interior. It was stunning and it looked good. You see, the thing about red interiors is this: it is very difficult to pull off in a way that still looks tasteful. Okay, because red is such a bright color, it is such an in your eye kind of color. So if you want to put red interior, your material selection, your fit and finish really has to be good in order to match up to the brightness of the colors. So I think with the Mazda 3, Mazda really have invested enough in the quality of the vehicle that it carries the red color well. MSS, any video regarding how the dealerships deal with their inventory? Do they buy in and sell out, or do old stock get cheaper? Well, different brand and different dealerships each have their own practices. Of course, as we are stuck in the limbo of MCO, there are stocks that are not moving, but at the same time, because plants around the world are also not operating. What this means is that they are also not being burdened with all the stocks not moving, and new stocks keep coming in and growing. No, what everybody is facing now is their stock level. It's just there. That's it. So when they come out of MCO, their urgency to sell these stocks are perhaps not as significantly higher as it was at the start. But that being said, all the salesmen representing these dealerships, they'll be very hungry, all right, and of course they will be out to get more sales, and naturally, I believe also the dealerships, also the car brands, everybody is hungry for business, and it's going to be a buyer's market out there when MCO is lifted, when business resumes. Yeah, you will get good deals, all right, but how much better? It's difficult to say. And of course, the brands, the dealers with strong cash reserve, they will be able to hold out a bit longer and not be too desperate in their discounting. Mahendra Warma, hi Con, I saw a video of you driving the E300 BlueTEC hybrid from KL to KL to Bangkok. I'm also eyeing an E300 BlueTEC. Any comments? Thank you in advance. So yes, first of all, I've replied your video, all right, with the link to the story that I wrote from the trip. So basically what happened was when the E300 BlueTEC hybrid was launched in Malaysia, shortly before that launch, the editor of Autocar UK, Andrew Frankel, drove the same model but slightly different spec from somewhere in the north of Africa all the way up to the UK. All right, he covered a total distance of 1,968 kilometers without refueling. So at the press conference of the launch, I asked, that was my first encounter with Mark Rain, by the way, former vice president of passenger cars for Mercedes-Benz Malaysia, who has since left his post and went to South Korea. So so I asked him, do you think Mercedes-Benz Malaysia would be up for a similar challenge? And a few months down the road, I was given an invite to join this trip where we had the opportunity to drive the E300 BlueTEC hybrid from KL all the way to Bangkok. We made some night stops along the way all the way to Bangkok without refueling. I reached Bangkok, I think, with covered about 1,005 kilometers, and there was still at least a quarter tank of fuel left in the car. So so what are you eyeing the E300 BlueTEC? Any comments? Well, see, the thing about the E300 BlueTEC is that because it's a diesel, because it's a hybrid, you can expect it to be economical in a wide variety of situations. Because you see, the thing is that most hybrid cars, they are really only economical in town driving, okay, where there's a lot of start-stop traffic. There are a lot of occasions where the electric motor can step in, cover for the engine, all right, and at the same time it allows the combustion engine more downtime. But when you go on the highways, the range of the electric battery depletes, and for much of the journey you're dependent on the internal combustion engine, which drives fuel consumption up. So with a diesel hybrid combo, of course, naturally, whether you're talking long distance or whether you're talking urban driving, you are still looking at fantastic fuel consumption. Of course, the E300 BlueTEC is well known, at least in our market, for issues. The early batches had issues of the suspension bottoming out. Okay, but Mercedes-Benz Malaysia, I can't remember whether it was on a goodwill basis, whether they on a subsidized price or what, but they got all the owners to replace their suspension. All right, so that issue is solved. In terms of reliability issues, I've heard of no major faults with the E300 BlueTEC. So nice car, go for it, okay. I'm curious, how much are these things asking for on the used car market? Cheapest one is still 98,000 Oh, it's holding its value pretty alright actually. 130,000. So let's look at a similar year E200. Okay, don't forget because the E300 BlueTEC was cheaper than the E200, right? Cheapest also is 130,000 ringgit. So holding its value better than the E300 BlueTEC for sure. Go for it, man. It's a nice car. Plan to own a 2011 2.5 Mazda 6, 33k. Do you think it's a good idea? I know Mazda parts are not cheap, but is it reliable? I'm ready to repair when it's breakdown, but I only don't want it to happen repeatedly in short period of time. Well, if you have this kind of mindset, you'll be fine. The Mazda 6 is a reliable car. The engine is stable. The transmission has no issues. But of course, I think the common thing with Mazdas is that the rubber parts, the bushes, the bearings and all these the suspension parts will require frequent changing. Okay, but these are not critical issues. I mean, if you can live with the noise, then you can drive with it a bit longer. But if you want your car to feel as good as new, then when you get it invest in a full suspension refresh and the car should be pretty good. Aurizn Subramaniam, I enjoy videos and the A6 video is enjoyable with your cute daughters and the cat joining in. Bet those complaining others used to watching TV3 BlueTEC. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Then just now Gary Ma also pointed out, I don't see any problem with your cats and kids interrupting your video. They are cute and they don't make loud noises when they're in the video. I'm pretty sure you have edited out any part where you're really interrupted. Smart. Let's see. SHLN or Shin or She-N. I see SH. I think it's SHLN. Con, which one you prefer? TR1 PS3 Hankook V12 Evo 2 for 1955515. Well, my Waja runs this size. The PS3 is the only tire that I have picked twice for the car, and for my next tire change, chances are I will be going back to the PS3 again. And now, alright, today, the PS3, even though it's an outdated pattern, but for 15 inches, Michelin is still continuing to sell the PS3, but they formulated with the PS4 compound. The TR1, the Toyo Proxys TR1, it's not a bad tire for its price. Okay, for its price. And this leads me to the next question. There are two substantive comments actually on my Toyo Proxys TR1 launch video. Okay, but I'll answer yours first. TR1 versus PS3 versus Hankook V12 Evo 2. Now, I have not tried the Hankook V12 Evo 2, but Bobby has good comments of that tire, so that's a good purchase to go for if the price is right. TR1 obviously not in the same performance league as the PS3, but for the price, it gives you what you pay for. And the important point with the TR1 that I observe is that at the limits it's very progressive. So you get a good sense ahead when things are about to go wrong, and you have plenty of notice to correct the situation. Okay, so you won't suddenly go push hard in the corner and suddenly the tire will give way. No, but when you go in, you feel it slowly slipping, and that is ample warning for you to back off. So the next question from Chong Chue asks, this tire versus Michelin PS4, same advice. PS4 will outhandle the TR1 any day, but PS4 also happens to cost way more than the TR1, okay, for the same size. Wai Kwan Liu, tough bringing up a young family, and you have my respect. Thank you. Contemplating between a 525i or 528i around 2008 to 2011. May I have your views, please? Now, you are contemplating between an E60 and an F10. So the changeover between E60 and F10 happened in about 2010. All right. Now, the thing is this: between E60 and F10 has superior reliability, and F10 has also, the cabin of the F10 also is I think, if you ask me, at least 1 or 2 steps up from the E60. Because when I remember when the F10 came out, and I immediately look back at the E60. The E60's cabin straight away aged by 5 to 10 years. So feels old. But externally, of course, the E60 is a more aggressive shape. Even if you go for the non-M Sport E60, it's still a more aggressive look. But then again, if you're looking at the 525, the Malaysian spec cars, they all come standard in M Sport trim. Now, drilling down to the engine options. Okay, still on reliability issues. Sorry, the F10 has no major reliability issues. The only complaint, the biggest complaint I hear about the F10 is what? Door handles melting, which is something that very easy to solve. Okay, or you can just I don't know, wrap cloth around it or tape around it. But it is something that's very easy to solve. It's not something that will put you on a flat bed. The E60, on the other hand, engine is okay, it's reliable. The N52 engine, the only issue that we know of the N52 engine is the oil consumption issue. And of course, as with all BMW models, you have to refresh the cooling system, radiator, thermostat, water pump, or you need to prepare to change this. And also the E60 active steering. Okay, active steering is a common issue for the E60. It is, for me, a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker for me, and which is why the E60, to me, I don't find it my thing. Okay. Also, what more is that the E60 uses the ZF 6-speed transmission, which is not as refined, not as smart, and also not as reliable as the 8-speed ZF used in the F10. But what are the good points of the E60? One, as I mentioned earlier, the exterior styling is still very aggressive, and the handling wise, the E60 gives you a sportier driving experience compared to the F10. Avoid UK spec cars. If you want to go for Japan spec, that's fine, but avoid UK spec cars, because UK spec 525s would have been running the N53 direct injection engine, NA. Those engines are not exactly suitable for our market. Avoid them. In fact, that era, avoid the UK spec F10 528s also. The first batch 528s, they were running on a 3-liter N52 engine. So same thing with the E60. Watch out for oil consumption. Look out for Malaysia or Japan spec cars. Now then, in about 2011, okay, 2011 was when they switched. The 528 switched from the 3-liter N52 to the 2-liter N20. Now this would be the one with the turbocharged engines. All right, so it's the one that that makes similar amount of horsepower and torque as the 3-liter, but at a fraction of the road tax. So the N20s, no reliability issues, but it is known to have that rattling sound that a lot of people find unpleasant. But I think in terms of used car value, the 2-liter turbo 528 are the ones that are still holding their value the strongest. The 3-liter 528 is the one that I think you can drive a really hard bargain, because that's the one that the least number of people look for. And besides, if you are looking at the 528 3.0, you are ready to pay 3000 cc road tax. Why not go for a 535, right, of the same age? That is, I mean, same amount of road tax, but you get 300 horsepower as opposed to 258 in the 3-liter mod in the 528. And since you are also in the mindset that you are considering a 3-liter car, then if you're looking at the E60, you may want to look at the 530i instead of the 525, because why not? Because if you're already to accept that, you know, that road tax level, right? Yeah, why not go for the 530i, right? And 530i is I think you can. I've seen a few order on sale going for very attractive prices, so definitely worth looking in. And yeah, good hunting. So Edwin Aoyong, I have a Sonata LF 2015. Would you like to review one after MCO? Why not? I do not see any professional Malaysian review on this car, so really would really want to know what professional like you and Bobby would say about the car. Now, interestingly, I actually did review this car when I was in Autoworld. I've replied to your comment with a link to the story. So, the Sonata LF is an underrated car. By all objective measures, if you compare the Sonata LF with its predecessor, the Sonata YF, it is a much better car. It's more refined, it handles better, better built, okay, not offensively styled. But the problem with the Sonata LF is it's too conservative, because when you come from the very curvaceous, very aggressively styled YF, and suddenly you go to the LF, it's so conservative. Everything it's like so, it's like so held back. It's like when you drive the car, right, you know that Hyundai has gained the gains in refinement in that car is noticeable, but you feel as if as they held back. And you know where Hyundai is, they should not be holding back. You know, building on what the Sonata YF did, they should be upping their offensive. And since they already have mastered the basics of making a good car, I think they could have gone a bit further with the Sonata LF. They could have made it a bit more adventurous, okay? Because you see, the Sonata LF, when it was launched, it was not cheap. It was about the price of a Honda Accord and a Toyota Camry. So I think that car was good. It is a car that has all the basics covered, all the basics very well drilled, very well engineered, but you just feel that Hyundai held back from making that one more step to make it a truly outstanding car. And the other thing about the LF is, I don't understand why they also chicken out from offering a bigger engine alternative to the 2-liter model. Chan 5186, terpaksa tangguh dulu beli X70, tunggu model facelift ni masuk Malaysia. Sepatutnya model CKD 2020 ni dah facelift. This is a comment on my Geely Boyer Pro walk around video. Okay, Chan, kenapa Proton X70 CKD tak menggunakan styling facelift luaran? Okay, sebabnya begini. X70 dilancarkan di Malaysia baru setahun lebih. Okay, dan jika versi CKD dengan begitu cepatnya memperkenalkan gaya luaran, reka bentuk luaran facelift, ianya akan menyebabkan pembeli batch pertama tiba-tiba rugi mendadak dalam dia punya resale value. So, jadi mengikut Proton lah, dia orang cakap mereka menumpukan perhatian mereka untuk memastikan kualiti pembinaan X70 CKD itu boleh setanding dengan model CBU dulu. Okay, itu adalah keutamaan mereka, dan lepas tu dalam masa 1-2 tahun mereka baru akan memperkenalkan facelift dan dengan penambahbaikan kelengkapan kereta. So, Nicholas Choi, your thoughts if I were to get a Boxster or Cayman? How different are both cars? An older generation one. What would I need to look for in terms of maintenance? Difference between the Boxster and Cayman? Price. The same year Boxster and Cayman for the same spec, the Boxster will cost more money. If you ask this question to Bobby and Bing, they will tell you to go Boxster straight away because drop the top. But for me, I think it's a matter of taste. I'm the kind of guy who will go for a roof over my head. It's a choice. It's a question of your taste, and also in this case a bit of budget. Because let's just say if you're looking at a 2016 Cayman, the same budget probably gets you a 2014 Boxster. As for maintenance, Porsches are reliable. Okay, they are reliable. Just have all the regular wear and tear parts checked and looked after. You should be fine. And of course, you're looking at the older generation ones. Then, yeah, good on you, man. Go for the 6-cylinder models. Pritam, is it still relevant to bring car to service at official car service center even after the warranty is over? I find official service center is a bit pricey, but I'm getting a satisfaction because they are using original products and quality workmanship is provided. If I'm going out to service, let's just say somewhere in JB, because I'm based in JB, is that okay? Can my car engine accept the change? If everything is okay, do you mind suggesting a good service workshop in JB area? Now, I've replied to your comment with a list to our panel of trusted workshops and inspection centers, so you can go to any of those places. Okay, you'll be assured of good quality service, good quality workmanship. But of course, at the end of the day, right, when it comes to sending your car to service, it is a question really of trust. You go to that place, can you trust the person working in your car, right? So if that place gives you that feeling of trust, then yeah, by all means. And there is nothing wrong going back to your official service center. My Waja has been going back to official service center for 12 years. I still send it back to official Proton service center because I'm familiar with them and I find that they do an okay job with the car. But usually if you go outside service, not an issue one. Okay, as long as the workshop is honest and capable one, the car will be fine. Reginald Santa Maria. Are you Uncle Reginald? As in, like, are you like, you know, my wife's Uncle Reginald? Okay, so hi Con, pray all's well with you and your family. Same to you. If you are my Uncle Reginald, you take care too. Alright, give my regards to the family. Can I pick your brains on your thoughts using the Toyota Land Cruiser as a daily driver? Thank you very much. It's a good daily driver, but the car is bulky. Depending on what generation you look at, but the car is bulky, and assuming you are my Uncle Reginald, then your XC90 going to this one, the Land Cruiser is going to feel like a boat in comparison. Of course, it's still very well fitted, very well built, well finished. The car will last forever. As a daily driver, well, Toyota did build that car for a wide range of applications, right? I'm sure it's a usable daily driver, but if you regularly travel in tight spaces, probably not. But if you are always going over poorly surfaced roads, then it's a fantastic idea. It's not a bad choice, but it won't be as comfortable or as assured in terms of handling compared to your XC90. So guys, my Uncle Reginald here, well, basically he's my father-in-law's cousin. So he is a dentist based in Klang, and yeah, so you guys, anybody in Klang needs dental surgery, his clinic is Jalan Kasawari 8, Taman Eng An. Thank you, Uncle Reginald. Take care. Leroy, in terms of handling, please compare CX-5 versus CRV. CX-5. Ryun Lau 883R, thank you for being real and authentic in showing your struggles with producing videos and doing household chores and child caring duties at the same time. The reason why I do it, as I said before, is it is to show, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's working at home, who's got kids to juggle, and you know, and family matters to balance. So the reason why I show all these is for you guys to, for those of you who are similarly struggling with all this, you are not in this alone. I knew that from the moment MCO started, my mission was to produce as many videos as I can during this period, to talk to you guys, to give everybody something to look forward to every day or every other day. Creator Bantai, you have inspired me to do my own videos too. Creator Bantai is my channel. Okay, let's check you out. Okay, good luck, buddy. I just gave you a subscribe. Mr. Mumu, putting napkins into the diaper holder brings me back to my son's younger years. And Chi Fai Ling says, same, miss pulling the Velcro. How big are your kids, guys? You guys must be like, I don't know, your kids must be at least 5 to 7 years old, right? If you are looking at this from a past tense perspective. Becky, Whenever there's work calls, my dog never fails to make his audio presence. Also, my cat had the entire house to himself when everyone's out for work. He hates us even more during MCO cause his private moments are gone and need to put up with us disturbing his beauty naps. That's cats for you lah. Ryun Lau 883R. For 10k as a cheap daily but spacious enough. We recommend Sonata EF, Perdana V6 or W124. W124 for me lah. W124 for me. But Sonata EF. How much is Sonata EF now? Can get a Sonata. Sonata EF is the one with the Jaguar like headlight, right? Oh, I think between those three, I'll pick the 124. If budget permits, try to go for at least the 260E with the 6-cylinder engine, right? Or if you can, the 300E, even better. Andy Yao, bro, after playing with the cat, then you touch your face. Is that as safe as COVID? Safe lah, code. My cat practices social distancing, ma. Gary Chung, I love the way you reply the baseless critics. Useful video. Keep it up. Thank you. Paul Chung, hi Con. How can we see what cars are offered for sale at Drop the Top? Okay, drop them a line. Go to Facebook, search Western Circle, drop them a line. Okay, and chat with them direct. Hey Con, this is Yao Guang. How do you know if you really need a car or just using public transport would be a better option despite the inconveniences? I'm currently staying in university's hostel, so the car would be my transport to town for running errands or eating out. Your thoughts? Question is, can you afford to buy a car? And can you afford to maintain the car? Now, of course, if you can't afford it, then you should buy. You know why? Because public transport is there, it's good, but buying a car, it gives you the option of saving time. So you see, the thing is that you will no longer, your time when you go and run your errands is no longer determined by how early or late the bus driver is. It's entirely under your control. All right. So, and of course, when you go and you say what, go buy things and all that. If you have a car, you can just put all the things in your car and drive back. Okay. So it's having your own car. If you ask me personally, it's a time saver. Right. It saves you the time of having to go walk out, wait at the bus stop, walk to the bus stop, wait at the bus stop, take the bus, go to somewhere, and then walk somewhere, and all that. It saves all that time for you. Okay, but that being said, okay, there are situations where taking the bus or taking the train are superior options. But to me, it is good that that the buses and trains are an option rather than your only means of getting around. Yeah, but of course, if your family is not well to do, if you can't afford to buy a car, then in life we make do with what we have. We use our public transport, alright, and you just work your way up to one day you can afford your own car, your own house and all. Okay, Kingston Chan, can you list some of the quirks and features of your E39? I actually did a video on this before. So firstly, I'll reply your comment. You can have a look at that. But I would say that the features that of this car that I find most useful are: one, the key, the remote, the car keys recharge themselves every time when you start the car. Okay, so it's like when you put the car in, you start the car, you do the key and you start the car. The car is actually recharging the battery of the key fob. That's one. I'm also thankful that it has a relatively advanced onboard diagnostic system that, you know, I can access the hidden menus and I can go and quickly check on my own if there are any error codes from the engine. And I'm also thankful that the car's electronic circuitry is sufficiently advanced that it is able to warn me of things like whether my lights are spoiled, whether my coolant level is low, engine level is low, engine oil level is low, and all those things. Okay, let me talk about less some of the impressive but less, one impressive but less, but totally useless feature is that you can actually set a timer, okay? You can actually set the time for the car to automatically switch on the aircon ventilation when you park it somewhere. But the problem is that because the E39 does not have iDrive, you have to go through layers and layers of menus to access it, which is very, very troublesome. Aurizn Rao, what's your opinion on Satra Neo R3? Thinking of getting one. What should I look out for? What's the maintenance on the CPS engine? The CPS engine is okay. It's a reliable engine, but Neo, I want to ask you one thing. Are you tall? Because the problem with the Neo is that the A pillar is very low, but the seating position is high. So, like for me, when I sat in the Neo, getting myself to the correct sitting position, my head touches the roof of the car. Yeah. But handling is fantastic. Looks sharp. The car still looks the part. Today, 15 years from its launch. Dashboard. The interior is dated. But what else should you look out for? Possible suspension wear. Okay. If you're getting a manual, clutch wear, because I think somebody who buys a Satra Neo R3 manual is probably going to subject the car to pretty severe abuse, right? So the wear and tear, the harsh wear and tear part, the suspension, the clutch, watch out for these two items. Okay, you've got to be very, very severely used. And what else to watch out for? I'm not now with my experience with the Campro engine. The Campro Kosong knocks. I'm not sure about the CPS, so keep your ears open if you pump your car with RON 97. Skullhead, what tune do you do on your E39? How much did it cost, and would you say the money is well spent for an NA engine? My E39 was tuned by Mike Yap, DNA Tuning. He did it for me free of charge. But I would say that all this tuning, right, with NA engines, especially small capacity engines, you won't see a big difference. If you are talking about a 3 liter, 4 liter engine, you will see some difference. But a 2.2 like my E39, probably not very significant in terms of performance. But I did notice immediately after driving the car immediately after the tune, was that the engine behavior was noticeably smoother, slight improvement in fuel economy, but in terms of straight line performance, not a very significant improvement. Noticeable, but not significant. If you are driving a turbo engine, then definitely, right, your money spent will translate to very noticeable difference. But for NA, the difference is very slight, and not a lot of drivers will be able to appreciate it. So Jose D asks, this is on my day 31 vaccination video. Connecting my wife also for vaccination. Our child's schedule is 28th April. I think it's best that one of you go, right? I mean, I can't stop you from trying your luck, but it's best that one of you go lah. Okay. Eric Go, much better session this time. We are much more able to hear the Q&As. Keep it up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Pao Seng Chi, your view on Santa Fe 2.2 diesel in terms of reliability and maintenance. Year 2014-2015, I'm thinking to replace my Proton exhaust for this. It is for family trip, going to remote area and Highland for camping activity, visiting farm. Good choice. Go for it. Simple life. I asked Bobby on the Mondeo. It was a cheap car, cheapest 2.0 turbo at 350 Newton meters torque. However, I'm not sure about the performance of the torque converter. Performance is not as good as the older one with the power shift, but it's way more reliable. Handling also is not as good as the previous model. Okay, but get a bit more comfort. But of course, if you really want a proper sporty handling characteristic, go for the previous gen Mondeo. But just be prepared a chunk of money to repair the gearbox. Ichiro Takumi, do you recommend Lancer Sportback 2.4 over Proton Inspira for additional 10 to 13k? Nego some more. See, the thing about the Lancer Sportback is not a lot of people are ready to pay 2.4 liter road tax for a C segment car. Nego some more. Sivam Rajagopa asks, hi Con, nice cat, what's his name? Her actually, Queenie. Louis Kong. Hi Con, pleasure to know you when I was working in Carlis 5 years ago. Huh? I in Carlis 5 years ago already 4 years lah. Keep in mind, keep it up bro. By the way, mind to share your life milestone and achievement that you're most proud of. Getting married and starting a family. Herbert Low, what do you think of the E38? Honestly, never been a fan of any of the 7 series. E38, well, owing to my familiarity with the E39 now, is probably the only 7 series that I may consider getting, but very, very unlikely. It's a nice car. It's the favorite 7 series of many people. Only thing is that the only 6-cylinder option is the 728. Everything above the 728 are V8s, and BMWs are, well, they are better at 6 cylinders than they are at V8s. Leroy, hi Con, what do you think of COVID-19's impact on car industry? Would there be a drop in price? There will be a drop in price, of course, particularly when the bank moratorium ends, and some people will be out of jobs. They won't be able to afford resuming their car repayments. But I think there will also be some people who seeing that things are tightening may look to quickly sell their cars before the moratorium expires. There will definitely be a drop in price of used cars for sure, which may then impact the new car market as well, because if people can't get as much money as they previously got for their used cars, their buying power for their next car is affected straight away. There will be a collective reduction in the overall buying power of the market, but for those of you guys with a bit of cash to spare, then the period emerging from COVID-19 will really be shopping time, will really be fire sales, because simply put, there will be more people with cars to sell than there are people with money to buy cars. MRTMHD, hi Brocon, thank you for sharing. What do you think on the classic Mini, i.e. Austin Mini? Austin Mini, worth buying? Thank you bro, stay safe. It's worth buying if you are able to. You see, the thing about a classic like this is it really boils down to how much you like that car, okay? And the thing is, if you have the cash in hand, and if the car you're looking at is at or below what is the typical transaction price on the market, then it's worth buying. Okay, and a car like the classic Mini, it has established itself as with something of a cult status. So there is preservation of value right there. Of course, if you're looking at purely from a perspective of what you are paying versus what you're getting, and you look at it from a purely objective standpoint, no, it's not worth buying. Because don't forget, Bobby recently just picked up a Fiat 127 for 6K, and you cannot tell me that his Fiat and the classic Mini are so far apart that the Mini is worth 8 times to 10 times more. It's not justifiable. Okay, but because everybody attached that value, that kind of value to the car, and if you want it well enough, then it's worth it. It's really, when it comes to buying all these classics, it really is a willing buyer, willing seller situation, and it's really a question of how much value you attach to that car. Because if you were to come to ask me about a 2016 Mini Countryman, I can tell you whether straight away it's worth or not based on based on how the market is going right now. But a classic like this really is up to the, because examples are scarce anyways. It's really up to the owners to set their price, and you decide whether you want to meet it or not. Okay, and if you have say, I don't know, 500,000-600,000 lying in the bank, and this car that you've always wanted for is there for the taking at 50K, then it's perhaps not a bad spend of money. Okay, and the car it's a very simple car anyways. So well, I wouldn't dare to say restoration will be cheap. It probably won't be, but if it's something you like well enough, then yes, it's worth it. But if you don't get it, then it's not. Okay, so that's all the questions and answers I have for today. So Muslim brothers and sisters, selamat puasa. All right, this is a very unusual fasting month. No tarawih at the mosques, no bazaar Ramadan, but I think what we are looking at here is a necessary sacrifice so that we are able to end COVID-19 as quickly as possible. Because the faster we put COVID-19 to bed, the faster we can get back to our normal lives. Okay, so that's all the time I had. That's all the sharing I have for today. But before I end this video, I just want to ask you guys something. Have you guys ever dreamt of owning a home inside a nicely landscape, gated community with facilities like swimming pool, gym, and all that, but you've always been worried that it's too expensive. It may impact on your lifestyle and considerations like that? Well, the good news is we've just heard of this very exciting project, okay, coming up by a very reputable developer. So to know more about this project, go to duduk.my, duduk.my. Go there, submit your registration interest to find out more details. Okay, so guys, stay home, stay safe. I'll see you for the next video.
Langkah-langkah seterusnya. Saya tidak menolak juga kemungkinan bahawa PKP akan dilanjutkan lagi selepas ini. Dan ini bermakna saudara-saudari mungkin tidak boleh menyambut hari raya di kampung seperti biasa. Saudara-saudari masih tidak boleh bekerja kecuali bagi mereka yang bekerja dalam